Snowed in with a stranger. A heartfelt tale of unexpected love, hidden kindness, and the magic of second chances. Part 1, The Storm Begins. The snow was coming down hard, thick like sifted flour pouring from the heavens. Madison Harper tightened her scarf and stepped out of her rusty blue Jeep, her boots crunching against the already knee-deep snow. She had driven 4 hours from the city for a quiet New Year's escape to a small, off-grid cabin nestled deep in the Colorado Rockies. After a year of heartbreak, burnout, and a painful divorce, she craved solitude, just her, the mountains, and silence. The cabin was smaller than she expected. Rustic, aged, but oddly charming. Inside, the fireplace still held the scent of past embers, and the walls were lined with old books and faded photographs of winters long past. She didn't mind. It was exactly the kind of quiet she needed. But within hours, a storm rolled in with a vengeance. Power flickered once, then went out completely. Madison bundled herself in blankets, trying not to panic. Her phone had no signal, and she hadn't seen another soul for miles. She was truly alone. Or so she thought. Part 2, A Knock in the Snow. It was nearly midnight when she heard it, a knock at the door. Slow. Measured. She froze. Who could be out here in this weather? She opened the door just a crack, revealing a tall man in a dark coat dusted with snow. His hair was tousled, and a rugged beard framed his jaw. His eyes, warm and golden brown, held no threat, just concern. "Sorry to bother you," he said with a half-smile. "I saw your Jeep in the drive and noticed the lights were out. Power's out across the ridge, but I have a generator. Thought you might want to warm up." Madison hesitated. She didn't know this man. But the storm was unforgiving, and her fingers were numb. "I'm Jack," he added. "I stay in the cabin next door." The two cabins were separated by a thicket of pines and a steep ridge. She hadn't even noticed his place through the whiteout. Madison nodded. "Madison. Thank you. I'll be okay." But before she could close the door, a gust of wind blew it wide open, and the cold hit her like a slap. Jack caught it, shielding her with his frame. "Please," he said softly, "just for a bit. It's dangerous in this cold." Reluctantly, she followed him. Part 3, The Warmth Within. Jack's cabin was unexpected. It wasn't grand, but it was refined, high-end furnishings, modern appliances, walls lined with abstract art, and shelves stacked with first-edition novels and classical records. A generator hummed in the back, powering a cozy warmth inside. He handed her a cup of cocoa, then lit a fire. She sank into the armchair, overwhelmed by the comfort. "You live here year-round?" she asked. Jack shrugged. "Off and on. I escape here when the world gets too loud." They talked. About books. About snow. About how he used to live in New York but left after his father passed and the corporate world burned him out. Madison didn't share much. Not yet. But there was something about Jack, gentle, calm, attentive, that made her feel safe. That night, she stayed in the guest room. And the next morning, the snow hadn't let up. Part 4, Stuck Together. Days passed. The road was buried, no snowplows in sight. Madison's cabin was too cold without power, so she remained at Jack's. They settled into a quiet routine, cooking meals, reading, watching the fire crackle. She found herself laughing again. Really laughing. Jack had a dry wit and told stories that felt like poetry. He noticed when she was quiet, never pressed when her eyes looked distant. One evening, as they shared a bottle of wine, she finally opened up. "I came here to forget," she whispered. "My ex left me for someone else. Said I wasn't enough. I spent months trying to prove him wrong, and when I couldn't, I broke." Jack's eyes softened. "I'm sorry. You didn't deserve that." No, she said, voice cracking, but maybe I needed it. To find something, or someone else. To start over. There was silence, but not the kind that hurts. The kind that listens. Jack reached over and gently took her hand. Starting over is brave. And beautiful. Part 5, A Hidden Truth. On the 5th day, the snow began to melt. The roads would clear soon. That morning, Madison ventured outside and slipped, landing on a small metal box hidden beneath the snow near Jack's porch. Curious, she brought it inside. Jack's face paled slightly when he saw it. I didn't realize that was still out there. She opened it slowly, photos, news clippings, a plaque. Jack Whitmore, she read aloud. Forbes. Tech Philanthropist of the Year. He sighed. It's true. I didn't mean to hide it. I just didn't want it to matter. You're a millionaire, she asked, stunned. Technically, he said, smiling sheepishly. But out here, I'm just Jack. Madison felt her stomach turn. Was it all a game? A fantasy? I didn't want to scare you away, he said, gently. I've had people change. Treat me like I'm a prize, not a person. With you, it was different. You talked to me like I mattered. Not my money. She looked at him, trying to read the man behind the truth. And all she saw was kindness. Warmth. Sincerity. I came here to be invisible, she said. But maybe being seen isn't so bad. Part 6, The Road Opens. By the end of the week, the snowplows arrived. Madison packed her things, heart heavy. Part of her didn't want to leave. Jack walked her to her Jeep, silence stretching between them. So, he said, what now? She smiled sadly. I go back. You stay here. We forget, right? Jack took her hand. Or, we try. See what happens when the snow melts. When the world returns. Her heart thudded. You'd really want that, she asked. Even after knowing all my mess. He brushed a strand of hair from her face. Especially because of it. Your mess makes you real. And I've spent too long around people who are anything but. She stood on her toes and kissed him softly. Epilogue, 1 year later. The following winter, the same storm returned, but this time, Madison wasn't alone. She sat beside Jack on the porch of a brand new cabin, watching the snow fall. Inside, their dog barked at the fire, and dinner simmered on the stove. She had started her own bookshop in town. Jack helped fund a literacy program for underprivileged schools. Together, they had found a purpose beyond survival. It wasn't just a love story. It was a story about finding light in the coldest places. About kindness freely given and unexpectedly returned. And about how sometimes, being snowed in is the universe's way of saying, stop. Slow down. Something beautiful is waiting.